Hey everyone, welcome back to Shivastra. In today's video, we are going to read all blocks of BEGC 113, Modern European Drama. So without wasting your time, let's begin. Ghost by Henrik Ibsen. Ghost is a play written by Henrik Ibsen, a famous Norwegian writer, and performed in 1882 and shocked many people at that time because it talked about bold and serious topics. The story of Ghost is about a woman named Mrs. Alving who tries to keep her late husband's bad action a secret. She has spent many years hiding these secrets and doing everything to build a good image of her husband in society. But slowly, the truth comes out. When it does, it causes pain and sadness for everyone involved. The play talks about serious issues like family problems, society rule, and hidden secrets. It is known as a tragedy and a problem play because it shows real life problems in a serious and emotional way. Let's get started with the overall summary. So, the play Ghost is divided into three acts and is set in the house of Mrs. Helen Alving, a widow. The story mainly takes place over one day and focuses on how the past mistakes of people continue to affect their present lives. Act 1. The hidden truth began to come out. The play begins in the morning at Mrs. Alving's house. She is busy preparing for the opening of an orphanage that is being built in the name of her late husband, Captain Alving. The orphanage is meant to keep his memory alive in society and make people respect him. Mrs. Alving's maid, Regina, is working in the house. Her so-called father, Jacob Engstrand, comes to meet her. He wants her to leave the house and come work with him in a new home. He is opening for sailors, but Regina refuses. She wants to live a good and respectful life and doesn't want to work with a drunken sailor. Soon, Pastor Manders, a family friend and a priest, arrive. He is helping Mrs. Alving with the orphanage work. They started talking, and slowly Mrs. Alving opens up to him about her past. She reveals that her husband, Captain Alving, was not a good man. He had many bad habits. He drank heavily and had affairs with other women, including their maid. Mrs. Alving had once tried to leave him, but Pastor Mander had told her to go back and do her duty as a wife. So she stayed in the marriage and kept all these secrets hidden from the public. She also tells the pastor that Regina is not really Jacob Engstrand's daughter. She is actually Captain Alving's daughter from an affair with the maid Johanna. Mrs. Alving sent the maid away and allowed Jacob to take the child so that nobody would know the truth. Now Regina worked as a maid in the Alving household, now not knowing her real identity. Mrs. Alving's son, Oswald, has returned home from Paris, where he was working as a painter. He seemed unwell and mentally disturbed, but no one knows yet what is wrong with him. He talks about being tired and how he can't enjoy life anymore. The act ends with a sense of mystery. We know something is seriously wrong and secrets are slowly starting to coming out. Act 2. The past comes closer. The second act begins in the evening. Mrs. Alving and Pastor Mander talk more deeply. Oswald joins them and he behaves strangely. He smokes and talks freely, which surprises the pastor. Oswald then speaks to his mother and then tell her something shocking. He is seriously ill. He said that the doctor in Paris told him he has a disease that is inherited from birth. The disease is destroying his brain and he fears he will go mad. He didn't want to come home, but the doctor advised him to rest. Oswald is scared and doesn't want to live a life like that. Mrs. Alving is heartbroken. She realizes that her husband's bad lifestyle, the drinking and the wild life, has now affected her son. She had tried so hard to protect Oswald from his father's influence, but the disease passed to him anyway. Meanwhile, Jacob Engstrand tells Pastor Mander that he wants to use the money from the sailor's home to help poor men, but in truth, he wants it for himself. He tries to act like a good man and even tricks Pastor Mander into believing him. At the same time, Oswald and Regina spend time alone. Oswald starts showing romantic feeling toward Regina and even say he wants to marry her, but neither of them know yet they are half sibling, which would make a relationship between them impossible. Suddenly, a terrible thing happened. The orphanage catches fire and burns down. Pastor Mander had told Mrs. Alving not to insure the building because he believed in leaving things in God's hand. Now the entire orphanage is destroyed and there is no money to rebuild it. Everyone is in shock. Mrs. Alving feels that everything is falling apart. The lies, the fire, the illness. Everything is now coming to the surface. She realizes that trying to hide the truth never really helped. The past is still affecting the present, just like a ghost. Act number 3. Painful truth and heartbreaking end. The final act happens the same night. It is late and it is raining. The atmosphere is full of sadness. Oswald and his mother sit together and talk. She finally tells him the truth that his father was not a good man and Regina is actually his half sister. When Oswald hears this, he is shocked. He realizes that he cannot marry Regina and that he had been dreaming of a life that is now impossible. When Regina finds out the truth about her real father, she is shocked and hurt. She is angry that she was never told the truth. She decides to leave the house and go start a new life on her own. Now only Oswald and Mrs. Alving are left in the house. Oswald talks more about his condition. He finally reveals clearly that he has inherited a disease called syphilis, which came from his father. He says it is destroying his mind and body. He tells his mother that he no longer feels the energy or happiness of life inside him. He says the joy of life has died within him. Mrs. Alving is heartbroken to hear this. She had always tried to protect Oswald from his father's sin, but now she sees that those sins have come back like ghosts and harmed her son. Oswald then tells his mother something very painful. He said that the doctor warned him one day he might lose full control of his brain and become mentally blank. He doesn't want to live in that condition, so he asks his mother for a promise. If he ever falls into the dark mental state, she should help him die. He asks for euthanasia. This shocks Mrs. Alving. She loves her son dearly, and the idea of ending his life feels unbearable. But Oswald insists. He says that he has already prepared morphine, it is a type of drug, a powerful drug, and give it to her. He says that if the moment comes when he cannot think or speak anymore, she should use it. Suddenly that moment arrives. Oswald was a seizure. He becomes still and unresponsive. His eyes are open, but he don't seem to recognize anything around him. He has entered the exact condition he feared. Who looked up at the morning sky and keep repeating just one thing. The sun, the sun. He stared at it like a small child with no understanding of who or where he is. Mrs. Alving stands behind him, frozen. She holds a bottle of morphine in her hand. The play ends with her standing there in pain, in confusion, in horror, not knowing whether to do what Oswald asked or not. So here are the characters. Mrs. Helen Alving. Mrs. Helen Alving is a strong but deeply troubled woman. She tries to hide her late husband's bad past to protect her son, Oswald. She wants to do the right thing but feels trapped by the society rule and her own choices. She has lived a life full of lies to protect her family name. In the end, she is heartbroken when she learns Oswald has inherited his father's illness. She feels helpless and full of guilt. Her character shows the pain of hiding the truth and the heavy cost of living by society's fake rule. Oswald living. Oswald is Mrs. Alving's son, an artist who returned home after living in Paris. He is cheerful at first, but slowly it is revealed that he is seriously ill with a disease he got from his father's syphilis. This illness makes him mentally weak and he fears losing his mind. He wants to live happily but feels hopeless. He asks his mother to help him die if his mind goes dark. Oswald represents the younger generation who suffer because of the mistake of their parents. His life is full of sadness because of secret and lies from the past. Captain Alving is Mrs. Alving's late husband. Though society respects him and sees him as a good man, in reality he was a selfish, drunk, and had many affairs, including with the one maid Johanna. Regina is his illegitimate daughter, but this truth is hidden. Even after his death, his past causes great pain to his family. His bad action affect Oswald's health and Regina's life. Captain Alving never appears alive in the play, but his presence is felt throughout. He represents the ghost of the past, wrongdoings that still haunt the present. Regina Engstrand. Regina is the young maid working in Mrs. Alving's house. She is smart, confident, and wants to live a better life. She believes Jacob Engstrand is her father, but later learns that her real father is Captain Alving. This truth shocks her. Regina dreams of being rich and respected. When Oswald shows interest in her, she feels happy, but she leaves when she finds out he is her half-brother. Regina's story shows how lies and hidden truth can ruin a person's dream and identity. She is a victim of other mistake and dishonesty. Jacob Engstrand. Jacob is a carpenter and Regina's stepfather. He is dishonest and selfish. He acts religious and caring, but he only wants to use others for his own benefit. He married Johanna the maid after she got pregnant by Captain Alving just for money. Jacob wants Regina to join him in running Sailor's Home, but she refuses. He pretends to be good but is full of lies. Jacob shows how some people use religion and kindness as a mask to hide their true nature. He is a symbol of the corruption in society. Now let's talk about the theme. Number one, the burden of the past, ghost of the past. Hypocrisy in society, hereditary illness, lies versus truth, women's struggles, freedom versus duty. So here we are done our block 1 in unit 1, ghost. Now let's move on to the second one, which is Rhinoceros by Eugene Ionesco. Here's the introduction. Rhinoceros is a famous play written by Eugene Ionesco in 1959. It is a part of the theater of the absurd, a style of drama that shows how life can be strange, meaningless, and confusing. The play is about how people in a so small town slowly transform into rhinoceros. This transformation represents how people blindly follow dangerous beliefs like fascism or extreme political ideologies. The main character, Berenger, is an ordinary man who struggles with his own self doubt and drinking problem. He is lazy and lacks confidence, but as the play progresses, he becomes the last person to resist the rhinoceros transformation. His journey shows the importance of thinking for oneself and not giving in to the social pressure. Here are the characters, let's look at it. Berenger. Berenger is the main character of the play. He's an ordinary man who drinks a lot, lacks confidence, and doesn't seem serious about life at first. People think he is lazy and careless, but as the plays go on, he changes. When everyone around him starts turning into rhinoceros, he becomes the only one who resists. Even though he feels alone, scared, and unsure, he refuses to give up his humanity. In the end, he becomes brave, showing us the importance of staying true to ourselves and not following others blindly. Jean. Jean is Berenger's friend in the beginning. He is well dressed, confident, and cares a lot about discipline, appearance, and good behavior. He is called Berenger for drinking and being messy. At first, Jean seems strong, but soon he changes his mind and starts liking the rhinoceros. He began acting strangely and finally turned into a rhinoceros himself. His transformation shows how even smart or strong people can fall under pressure and follow dangerous beliefs. Daisy. Daisy is Berenger's co-worker and he has feeling for her. She is kind and gentle and for a short time she supports Berenger. They both try to stay human together, but later Daisy starts to think maybe being a rhinoceros is not so bad. She says that they look happy and peaceful. In the end, she joined the rhinoceros, leaving Berenger heartbroken and completely alone. Daisy represents how people can change their mind when they feel lonely or hopeless. The logician. The logician is a funny and strange man who tries to explain everything using logic. He talks in a complicated way, but what he says doesn't always make sense. He tries to sound smart, but his ideas are actually silly and confusing. He shows how logic alone without feeling or value can be useless or even dangerous in real life. Botard. Botard is a school teacher and one of Berenger's co-workers. He is very stubborn and refuses to believe that people are turning into rhinoceros. He says it's all just rumors and fake news. Even when he sees the truth, he still doesn't accept it. He represents the people who ignore reality even when it is right in front of them. Mr. Dudard. Dudard is another co-worker of Berenger. He is calm and tries to stay neutral. He doesn't want to judge anyone and believe any people should have the freedom to choose, but this attitude becomes a problem when he accepts the rhinoceros transformation is normal. He slowly gives in and turns into one too. Dudard shows how being too passive or neutral in see the situation can be dangerous. Mrs. Boyoff. Mrs. Boyoff is a woman who turned into a rhinoceros before her husband. Even after her transformation, she still shows love for her husband and wants him to join her as a rhinoceros. She crashes into his office and he climbs on her back, going with her. The scene shows how love and loyalty can also lead people to make strange or risky choices. Mr. Boyev. Mr. Boyev is a quiet office worker. He is shocked when his wife becomes a rhinoceros, but instead of running away, he accepts it. He even rides off with her, showing that he chooses love or comfort over thinking for himself. His choice shows how some people follow others without asking what is right or wrong. Now, here is the overall summary. This play is also divided into three acts. Each act shows how the situation slowly gets worse as more and more people turn into rhinoceros. The story starts with a small sign of a change and ends with the main character Berenger standing alone against the entire herd. Act 1, a normal town with an unusual problem. The play begins in a quiet town square on a Sunday. Berenger meets his friend Jean at a cafe. Jean is well dressed and confident while Berenger looks tired and careless because he drinks too much. Jean scolds Berenger, telling him to be more disciplined and take care of himself. Berenger listens but doesn't change his attitude. As they talk, a rhinoceros suddenly runs through the town, shocking everyone. The townspeople are confused and frightened. Some argue about whether there was only one rhinoceros or two. Others try to come up with an explanation. A man called Logician tried to explain the situation using logic, but his thinking is silly and doesn't help at all. Even though a rhinoceros has appeared in their peaceful town, most people quickly move on and return to their normal conversation. This shows how people often ignore a problem even when they are serious. Berenger is concerned, but Jean dismisses his worries. Act 2. The rhinoceros epidemic spreads. The next day, Berenger goes to work at an office. His co-worker, including a man named Bertolt, talk about the rhinoceros. Bertolt refuses to believe that the rhinoceros exist. He thinks it is just a rumor and that the newspapers are exaggerating. This shows how some people refuse to accept reality even when they see clear evidence. Suddenly, a co-worker named Mr. Boyev arrives and reveals that his wife has turned into a rhinoceros. Instead of being terrified, Mrs. Boyev, now a rhinoceros, shows love and loyalty to her husband, urging him to join her. She crashes through the office and Mr. Boyev climbs onto her back, accepting his transformation. As the day go on, more and more people in the town started turning into rhinoceros. More and more people turn into rhinoceros quickly, and now it is impossible to ignore what is happening. Berenger, now deeply disturbed, goes to visit Jean in his home. However, Jean's behavior has changed. He starts sweating, acting aggressively, and speaking in a strange way. He defends the rhinoceros, saying that they are powerful, free, and natural. Slowly, Jean's skin thickens, his voice deepens, and he fully transforms into a rhinoceros right in front of Berenger. Berenger is horrified. His best friend has now joined the herd. He realizes that the transformation is not just physical but also mental. People's minds are changing before their bodies do. Act 3, Berenger's Last Stand. By the final act, almost the entire town has turned into rhinoceros. The streets are filled with the sounds of their roars. People who were once Berenger's friends and neighbors are now part of the herd. Berenger is now alone in his apartment, terrified. He regrets not taking the situation seriously. Earlier, he felt guilty for not resisting sooner and wondered if it is too late. Daisy, a woman Berenger liked, visits him. She is one of the few human left. At first, they comfort each other, trying to hold on to their humanity. However, Daisy slowly starts to change her mind. She begins to think that maybe the rhinoceros are happy. She wonders if they are better off than humans. Berenger tried to convince Daisy that they must fight and resist the transformation, but she is not convinced. Eventually, she leaves him and joins the herd, leaving Berenger completely alone. At this point, Berenger starts questioning himself. He looks into the mirror and wonders if he is the one who is wrong. Maybe the rhinoceros are right, and he is the one who should change. He even tries to roar like the rhinoceros, but he fails. However, in the final moment of the play, Berenger gathers his strength and makes a decision. He shouts that he will never give in. He declares that he will remain human no matter what happens. Conclusion is the play Rhinoceros show how people can stop thinking for themselves and start following others, even if it is wrong. When everyone turns into rhinoceros, it means they are giving up. They are human thinking and blindly joining a crowd. Berenger is the only one who does not give up. Even though he is scared and alone, he decides to stay human. His choice teaches that we have should always think for ourselves and not follow others just because everyone else doing it. So let's talk about the theme of this play. Number one, conformity, following the crowd, loss of individuality, danger of fascism and blind obedience, loneliness and moral strength, absurdity and confusion of life. So here are the themes, you can read it. And now we are done with the block 2. I hope you like this. Now, without wasting time, let's move on to the third block and third unit, which is the good women of Szechwan. Okay, so The Good Woman of Szechwan is a famous play written by Bertolt Brecht, a German playwright. It was written in the 1930s and is set in a city called Szechwan in China. The play is about a kind and honest woman named Shante who tries to live a good life in a world that is full of selfish and greedy people. One day, three gods come to Earth looking for a truly good person and they find Shante. They give her some money to start a new life, but soon many people start taking advantage of her kindness. To protect herself or Sunrise, Shanti creates a fake identity. She pretends to be her own cousin, a strict and clever man named Shweta. As Shweta, she becomes strong and practical, but also less kind. The play shows the struggle between the being good and surviving in a selfish world. It asks an important question: can a good person live happily in a world full of greed and injustice? So let's begin with a prologue. In the city of Szechwan, a poor man named Wang, who sells water on the street, is waiting for three gods. These gods have come to Earth to find just one good person. They want to prove that humanity is still worth saving. The gods visit many homes, but no one gives them shelter. Finally, they meet a poor and kind-hearted prostitute named Shante. She is the only one who agrees to give them a place to stay for the night, even though she has a very little. The gods are very happy to find one good person. As a reward, they give Shante some money so she can start a new life. With that money, she buys a small tobacco shop from a woman named Mrs. Shin. Scene 1. Shante opens a shop. After buying the shop, Shante is quickly surrounded by greedy people like her relative Mrs. Shin and other people who take advantage of her goodness. They ask for food, money, and shelter. Shante feels helpless. She wants to help everyone, but she realizes she will soon lose everything. She understands that being good in a bad world is not easy. Scene 2. The birth of Shweta. To protect herself and her shop, Shanti creates a fake cousin named Shweta. She dresses up as a man and acts differently, rude, strong, and business-minded. As Shweta, she kicks out of the freeloader and brings order to the shop. Shweta is strict and practical, the opposite of Shanti, who is soft and emotional. Scene 3. Fell in love. Later, Shante fell in love with a man named Young Sun, who says he is a pilot but he has no job. He tells her that he needs money to get his pilot license. Shante believes him and wants to help. But Shweta appears. He sees that Young Sun is only using Shante for money. Shweta wants Young Sun not to take advantage of her. Scene 4. Betrayal. Shante finds out she is pregnant with a Youngson child. She also learned that Youngson is selfish. He doesn't truly love her. He only wants her shop and money. Shante feels heartbroken and confused. She is judged by society for being pregnant without merit, which makes things harder. Scene 5. Shweta takes over. Since things are getting worse, Shante hides more often and Shweta starts running the shop full time. He transforms the shop into a tobacco factory and hires poor people to work there. These are the same people who used to take advantage of Shante. Now Shweta becomes more like a real businessman. He is no longer just protecting Shante, but also exploiting others to earn profit. He becomes part of the capitalist system, using people just like others use Shante. Scene 6 to 9. The disappearance of Shante. The factory became big and successful under Shweta's rule, but the workers suffered under harsh conditions. Shante tried to come back sometime, but people rarely see her anymore. Shweta became more powerful. Shante appeared less and less. The kind woman people once knew seemed to have disappeared. The case becomes serious. People say that Shweta has harmed or killed Shante. The police and the god decide to hold a trial to find out the truth. Wang, the water seller, becomes worried. He feels something is wrong and reports Shweta to the authorities, thinking he has done something to the Shante. A trial is arranged and the three gods return to act as judges. Scene 10. The courtroom scene, the trial. In court, people demand to know where Shante is. Shweta is accused of harming her. In a dramatic moment, Shweta removes her disguise and reveals, I am Shante. She explains everything to the gods. She tells them that in order to be kind, she had to lie, cheat, and become another person. She says being good made her weak and poor. Being Shweta made her powerful, but she had to hurt others. She says she is torn between kindness and survival. She cannot be both good and strong in this world. She begs the god for help and a real solution. So, epilogue is the gods are shocked and embarrassed. They realize how hard it is to be good in such a world, but they have no real solution. They tell her to just be good and fly off to continue their search elsewhere. The play ends with Shanti still stuck in her painful situation. She must keep switching between it's herself and Shweta to survive. The play leave a question for the audience. Is it really possible to be good in a corrupt world? So now here are the main characters. Shante, also spelled as Shante, Shweta, Wang, Yangsen, the three gods. And there are other important characters. Mrs. Shin, the old couple Mr. and Mrs. Mitsu, nephew of Mrs. Mitsu, the carpenter, the policeman, the sister-in-law, uncle, and other relatives, the factory worker, and the poor people. And let's talk about the theme of this play. Number one, goodness versus survival. The biggest theme of the play, Shanti wants to be a good person, help other, and follow the God's wish. But the more good she is, the more people take advantage of her. To survive, she must become Shweta and act cruelly. It is very hard to be good in a world that is unfair and selfish. Number two, justice and injustice. The plays show how the world is full of injustice. Good people like Shante suffer while the selfish people get richer and more powerful. Even the God who should bring justice offer no real help. Message is that justice doesn't always exist in real life. Poverty and capitalism. Many characters are poor and struggle to survive. Shante is generous but I'm sorry, Shante is generous, but poverty makes others greedy and selfish. When Shweta turns the shop into a tobacco factory, he becomes part of the capitalist system, using worker up for profit. The economic system forces people to become selfish to succeed. Identity and duality. Shante has two sides, the kind-hearted Shante and the strict Shweta. She hides behind Shweta because society doesn't respect or protect goodness. Message is sometimes people are forced to change their identity to survive. Never felt the failure of religion or divine help. The God want to prove that the good people exist, but when Shanti asks for real help, they do nothing except say be good. Messages the God or religion don't always give real solution to real world problem. Number six and last one is gender and power. Shanti, as a woman, is seen as a weak, emotional, and easy to exploit. But when she becomes Shweta, a man, people respect and fear her. Massive society treat women and men differently, giving more power to the man. It is a male-dominated society as well, okay? So here are we done our block 3. Basically, it is a block 2. I'm so sorry. Basically, number 1, it is a ghost. It is Rhinoceros is a block 4 actually. Okay, and the good woman of her size 1 is a block 2, and the waiting for Godot is a block 3. So let's begin. Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. Waiting for Godot is a famous play written by Samuel Beckett, an Irish writer. It was written in French in 1948 and later translated into English by Beckett himself. The play was first performed in 1953 in Paris. It became one of the most important plays of the 20th century. The play is about two men, Vladimir and Eugène, who are waiting for a person named Godot. They don't know much about him and he never comes, but they keep waiting. While they wait, they talk, argue, and meet other strange characters. The play does not have a big story or action. It shows how people feel lost, confused, and keep waiting for a meaning in life. It is called an absurd play because it shows the strange and meaningless part of the human life in a simple and funny way. So, overall summary. Waiting for Godot is divided into two acts. Both acts take place at the same location and follow a similar pattern of event. The character repeat action and conversation, highlighting the theme of waiting and hopelessness. Act 1. The play begins with two men, Vladimir and Eugène, standing near a tree on a country road. They are both wearing old clothes and boots. They are waiting for someone named Godot. They are not sure exactly when or where he will arrive, but they believe he promised to meet them there. Eugène is trying to take off his boot because it hurt his foot. Vladimir talks about various things to pass time. The two men have a funny and sometimes confusing conversation. They often forget things and repeat themselves. Despite all this, they care for each other and don't want to be alone. They are hungry. Estrogen say he was beaten by some people last night. Vladimir offered him a carrot, and they talk while he eats it. They wonder if they are in the right place, if it is the right day, and if they are waiting for Godot correctly, but they are never sure. Later, two more characters arrive, Pozo and his servant Lucky. Pozo is a bossy, rich man. Lucky is tied with a rope and act like a slave. Pozo makes Lucky carry heavy bags, run, and even entertain the two men by making Lucky dance and think. Pozo says he is going to the fair to sell Lucky. He treats Lucky very badly. Vladimir and Estrogen feel sad but also confused. They try to understand Pozo and Lucky's relationship, but it seems strange and meaningless. After Pozo and Lucky leave, a boy comes and gives a message. He says that Godot will not come today. I'm so sorry, there is a jet. Please can I wait for a moment. Okay, so where should I continue? Yeah, he said that Godot will not come today, but he will surely come tomorrow. Vladimir asked the boy question like, if he work for Godot, if he Godot is kind. The boy say he take care of Godot's goats, and that Godot does not beat him. He also say he has a brother who take care of Godot's sheep. The boy leave. Vladimir and Strugan decide to go, but they do not move. The curtain falls. Act 2. Now, I'm sorry for the inconvenience caused to you because actually there is a jet. Now let's begin the act 2. The next day, Vladimir and Estrogen come back to the same place. The tree now has a few leaves, but everything else looks the same. They are still waiting for Godot. Estrogen does not remember what happened the day before. He thinks they were not here. Vladimir remembers everything. He tries to remind Estrogen, but Estrogen is confused. They talk more and try to pass the time. Estrogen wants to leave or even hang themselves, but Vladimir tells him they should wait. They both feel hopeless and bored. Pozo and Lucky come again, but now things are different. Pozo is blind and Lucky is dumb. He can no longer speak. They are still connected with a rope. Pozo needs help to move. He falls down, and both Vladimir and Estrogen try to help, but it is hard. Vladimir asks Pozo what happened to him, but Pozo does not remember meeting them before. He says he doesn't know why he is blind or why Lucky can't talk anymore. Time seems confusing in this world. Pozo and Lucky leave again, struggling. Once again, the boy arrived with the same message. Godot is not coming today, but he will come tomorrow. Vladimir is upset and asks if the boy remember him. The boy says no. He says he never came here before, which is strange because it's the same boy or maybe a twin. Vladimir asks about Godot again. The boy gives similar answer. Godot has goats, is kind, and he will come tomorrow. After the boy leaves, Vladimir and Estrogen are alone again. They feel tired and hopeless. Estrogen says, "Let's go," and Vladimir agrees, but they do not move. The curtain falls. Now, here the conclusion. Waiting for Godot shows two men waiting for someone who never arrived. Each day feel the same. The conversation are confusing and often go in a circle. They meet strange people like Pozo and Lucky, but those people also change without explanation. The play has no clear story or ending. It shows the feeling of waiting, hoping, and being unsure. Godot never come. Time does not move normally. The play make us think, who is Godot? Why are we waiting? What are we waiting for in our lives? So even though it may seem simple, the play has deep meaning. It talks about life, friendship, time, and the search for purpose. So here are the characters of this play. Vladimir, also called Didi. Role, one of two main characters, a tramp or a wanderer. Personality, Vladimir is more thoughtful, serious, and talk a lot about religion, time, and the meaning of life. His behavior often tries to make sense of the world and remember things. Even though time seems confusing in the play, he takes care of Estrogen like a big brother. Symbolism, Vladimir represents the mind or soul. He is always thinking, asking questions, and wondering about Godot. One Estrogen, also called Gogo. Role is the other main character, also a tramp. Estrogen is more emotional, forgetful, and focused on physical needs like food, sleep, and pain. He struggles with his boots, often complain, and sometimes want to leave, but he still stays with Vladimir. They fight, but also love each other like best friend or brothers. Estrogen represents the body. He feels things more than he thinks deeply about them. Pozo, a rich man who appears in both acts with his servant Lucky. In Act 1, he is proud, loud, and bossy. He treats Lucky like a slave and show off in front of Vladimir and Estrogen. In Act 2, he becomes blind and helpless. He forgets everything from before and needs help to move. Symbolism poses represent power and how it can disappear quickly. He also shows how time affects people in a strange way. Lucky, Pozzo's servant. He is tied with a rope and carries Pozzo's bag. In Act 1, he obeys all Pozzo's orders without complaint. He even dances and gives a long, confusing speech when told to think. In Act 2, Lucky becomes mute. He cannot speak and seems weaker. Lucky represents the suffering people who go through without asking questions. He showed what happens when a person loses their freedom and voice. The boy, a young man who comes at the end of both acts. He brings a message from Godot saying that Godot will not come today but surely tomorrow. Personality is he is quite polite and forgetful or unsure. He always say that he hasn't met Vladimir and Instrument before, even though it seems he has. The boy may represent hope or faith that never truly come. His message keeps Vladimir and Strogan waiting. Godot, never seen. The mysterious person Vladimir and Strogan are waiting for. He never appears in the play. No one knows who Godot really is. Some people think he stands for God, hope, purpose, or just something we wait for in life. Godot is the symbol of waiting itself, waiting for something or someone that might never come. Basically, tomorrow never comes. So Godot is also symbolized to a tomorrow. Themes of this play: waiting and time, hope and hopelessness, friendship and human connection, confusion and meaninglessness, power and control, religion and belief. So here we are done our block 3 2, and we have done our block 4 also. So basically, we completed our BEGC 113 Modern European Drama completely. I hope you all like this video. If you like this, then please do subscribe to this channel and share this video with all your friends. And yes, here is the PDF link in the description. You can check it. Okay, so meet you in the next video and all the very best for your exam. Har Har Mahadev.